So for those of you who know me, know that I am frugal as ever. So you're probably wondering, how was I able to backpack through Europe for 3 weeks? Well, I'm gonna let you know some trick of the trades, which are probably very common out there to people who have been doing this for years. But for those who don't know, I will share it with you, but you have to be open-minded. Um, and let me start off by saying that one, my flight was completely free. Only because I was going there for a work trip, okay? So I had a client event out there, out in Munich, Germany. When I found out I was going on this trip, I immediately thought that I should definitely extend my trip. One, because I was asking for just an international trip to just fall into my lap and just let me go with the flow and not ever have to look back. And when that landed in my lap, I just thought, well, hey, this is what I prayed for. Let me go for it. And I went for it. So the flight was paid for. My first week in Munich was covered by, the client. So I had no worries with that. After that, I extended my trip for a few more days in Munich, Germany. And then from there, I went to Salzburg, Austria for a couple of days. From there, I went to Prague, Czech Republic for almost a week. Spent Christmas there. And then I went to Antwerp, Belgium for a few days. And from there, went to Paris, France, and spent New Year's there. Had a little problems with the whole strike situation going on, but I'll talk about that later. But after France, I went to Zurich, Switzerland. Just for a day. I flew out of Zurich, Switzerland to go back to Atlanta, Georgia. So what was that? Oh gosh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 countries that I went to. 5 countries that I went to. Munich, Salzburg, Prague, Antwerp, Paris, Zurich. 6 cities of 6 different countries. Okay? So went with number 1. So the flight was free. I didn't have to worry about that, which was amazing. But as far as once I got to these cities and, I was done with the client event, I was on my own. And so I took advantage of hostels. So when you think of hostels, you might be thinking about this movie that I have yet to see, but I heard it's pretty scary. And I didn't want to watch it before I left just because I didn't want to start getting those thoughts in my mind. But so these hostels, I made sure I did a thorough review of each and every one of them, but obviously they weren't thorough enough. However, the reviews were amazing. I definitely used TripAdvisor for my reviewing and just filtered the reviews. You can filter it to like the type of trip that you're going on, and if it's going to be a family, if it's going to be solo, if it's going to be during the summertime, if it's going to be during the winter, or leisure or business. So I just filtered it: solo, female traveler, December, leisure. Bamboozle. The reviews looked good, look Gucci, and I just took it from there. So I also went by the pricing. So all the hostels that I stayed in, which there was only 6, I stayed in 1 hostel per city. They were never more than $35 per night, I want to say. At the least, I probably paid $11. Paris was the most expensive, I will say, but also the most disgusting hostel that I stayed at. I felt like I was pretty much in like a downgraded dorm. It was no bueno, but that's neither here nor there. So But with Paris, I paid like $139 for my whole stay, I think. It was definitely over $100. And that was like 5 days, 4 to 5 days that I was there. But other than that, like my least expensive one was probably like $35 for the stay. So it was like a really nice setup with the hostels. I was able to meet other travelers, whether they were in groups with each other or whether they were solo travelers, or even if they weren't even like traveling, maybe they just lived in the city. They had like hostels that allowed for families to stay there, local families to stay there. There was oh my gosh, in Antwerp, Belgium, the hostel that I stayed at, which was amazing, my favorite hostel, called Yust, Y-U-S-T. They had like a loft section to the hostel where there was people actually renting out these lofts and living there. And there were just the hostel section, you know, and it was very eco-friendly. They had like a restaurant, it was like a 5-star restaurant within this hostel, and then just little cute nooks of places to sit. So it was like a different range of quality when it comes to these hostels. Like for Paris, oh my gosh, the shower was separate from the rooms, so it was kind of, you had to share the showers with everyone else who was in the same hallway, which was mainly usually they separated it from like gender. So on this particular hall, there was, I think it was male and female though in Paris. And it was just like, once you got into the women's bathroom, you had like bathroom stalls and you also had shower stalls, and then you had the common sink areas, and there was one hand dryer that you could see like the plug into the outlet. Every time I went up in there, there was at least one girl drying her hair, so that she would unplug the hand dryer and put in her freaking hair blow dryer. And it's like, how am I gonna dry my hand? Because they ain't got no towels, no like paper towels to dry my hands with. So it was just aggravating. Then once you got into the showers, like you could just tell it wasn't like cleaned like you wanted it to. So make sure you have some shower sandals with you. But also, let me get some things that I felt like were really helpful. Okay, so some things that I found were very helpful for me, which, like I said, I did a lot of research before I went on this trip. Let me just fix myself up here. Definitely some research on things that I should bring as a backpacker to Europe in the wintertime. Like, it was very specific, okay? And then also, what were just some things that I should look out for as a solo female traveler. So hostels were a hit and a miss, but I definitely feel like I would give Paris another chance and stay within the city and also take advantage of a hotel room. So as far as transportation, I used the trains. It was amazing. Like, just being able to just be still and look out the window, having a window seat, and being able to see the views, especially like going into Zurich, Switzerland. It was my first time actually like seeing heavy snow just sticking and just the mountains covered with it. And it was such a movie type of moment for me. So I went and got a Eurail pass, which is through Eurail. So this is pretty much what it looks like. I don't know if you guys can see that. So either way, like, they had different options. If you go on their website, you'll see that you can buy tickets individually, but it's best if you're going to be backpacking to get a Eurail pass. I got the global pass, where I was able to use get 7 tickets for 7 non-consecutive days, and it be taken care of through that pass. Or if the train required a reservation, I would have to pay an extra fee. but most of the time I didn't need a reservation. So it was so exciting when they first sent me my ticket. It was like months before I actually left out, but this was definitely a money saver for me, just using the trains. It was like maybe like 300 something dollars for just the type of pass that I got. Outside of the pass itself with the reservations, I probably spent an additional $100. But they sent this map, which I thought was like, I just never really had like a map like this. So I was excited to like draw out my route. I don't know if you guys can see it without me blocking out my face. So yeah, so exciting. Where are we at? Germany, there we go. Germany to Austria, Czech to Belgium to France and to Zurich, Switzerland. Yeah. Okay, so that's that. But I was just so excited, just like brought everything into like, it became reality for me when I got this map. So I thought that was cute to have. And then they just gave you some like guides on how to use the Eurail Pass guide. That's what it's called. But the Eurail Pass is what I had, which is, you know, the train, I'm just gonna call it the train rep, would come through like they would in the movies. They would just come through and make sure you have a ticket for the train and like stamp it for you and then go on about their business. Make sure you have your passport with you because that's muy importante. But I sent my pass back to Euro because apparently you get some type of a gift if you send it back after your trip. So best believe if it's free for me, and I'll take 3. But yeah, it was really, really easy to do that. I will say that before I actually got to Paris, on my way from Prague to Antwerp, I got an email about my train being canceled. Actually, no, it was my train from Antwerp to Paris. I got an email about my train being canceled from Paris to Switzerland, which was, you know, Switzerland, I'm flying out back to Atlanta. So I'm like, oh my God, am I not going to be able to get back home? So I had a kind of like a freak out moment, but that's neither here nor there. I got it situated like that. Once I got into Paris, I told myself the next day is when I'll deal with this. Let me just enjoy this moment and enjoy, you know, just finally being off of a train. So once the next day came is when I went to the train station that I needed to go to. Paris has multiple train stations. I think almost like 4 different train stations. So I was told that I shouldn't go back to the train station that I got here from. I should go to the train station that my train to Switzerland was going to leave out from. So I went to that one, which was like an hour or so to get there. I think I used the scooter. Yeah, I used the scooter to get there. The scooter came in handy, y'all, but that's onto the transportation. And they were able to switch me out. There was no fee to change it at all. But unfortunately, instead of taking me straight to Zurich, they took me to Basel, Switzerland, which was like an hour outside of Zurich by train. So I was kind of like, look, as long as I'm in Switzerland, like I'll find a way to get there. So you kind of do get like that survivor mode once you get out of your comfort zone, like that whole survivor mode totally turns on. And that's what happened with me like throughout my trip. It was just like, look, we gonna get this mess done, but also enjoying the experience while I'm doing it all. So yeah, I was able to get that ticket switched out pretty quickly. So use the train. That was Gucci bandana. And I will say the main reason why I probably got it switched out pretty easily and for the freezy was because of the whole French strike going on. But either way, the train was definitely great to use. Outside of that, once like some of the reservations for the Euro Pass got expensive, I looked into the buses or even just flights, but it just it was less expensive for me to use the bus versus the flight, the plane. So I went on the bus from Prague to Antwerp. That was like the longest, irritating, worst bus ride ever. I was so just done and over it. It was like 10 plus hours long, like maybe 11. But for one, the bus wasn't leaving until like 4:20 in the morning. So I had Uber come and get me from the hostel. They had Ubers out in Prague, so that was Grand Central. And we ended up getting there. Like I made sure I got there at least like an hour before the bus was supposed to arrive. And it's cold as I don't know what out there. So I have my suitcase. It's this like eerie looking bus that looks like ratchet as I don't know what. And well, not bus, but this bus station that looks ratchet as I don't know what. And there's like nobody really there. There's like one other person there with me. But I had no idea if she was going on the same bus as me, or if she was like waiting for something else, or if she was just like, I don't know. And she barely spoke any English. So finally I started seeing people pull in, and I saw like there was like other bus stops around there that they were going to. So I was thinking that that's probably where I need to go. So I just walked all the way over there, and they confirmed that they were going on the same bus as me. So we were waiting there, and it was just it was a whole situation, y'all. The bus ended up being late like by 2 hours. And so in between time, me and the other people who were waiting for this bus ended up going into the train station that we were at while we're waiting for this bus, like, because it's cold as who knows, like it starts snowing and then it starts raining, and like I'm shivering. I don't have the right boots on because I sent it back home because I didn't think I would need it, because I didn't think it was going to be that cold. And lo and behold, I needed it in this moment. Like my toes were freezing up, my fingers were freezing up. Like I just felt like I was, oh my God, all I could do was pray. All I could do was pray to God, please just like keep me strong enough to keep it going, because there was nothing around, like no McDonald's or something that I could sit in the lobby until the bus came. But anyways, I'm going on a rant. So once the bus got in, we all got on there. I saw everybody like taking off their coats and stuff and just getting comfortable. Like once I got on, I saw a dude was sitting in my window seat, but he was knocked out, so I didn't even want to bother. I was already irritated. So I just sat down, but I kept my little coat on, like my little Christmas story coat on, for like an additional 4 hours, because I was just trying to warm my body back up. It was just that cold. Like my body was just, my temperature probably just like dropped so freaking low so quick. So I was thankful to have found warmth eventually after 4 hours. So anyways, train, bus, Uber in some cities. I never used the taxi just because you know how that gets. They get a little expensive. What I did do though was the public transportation when it comes to like their buses. And I found that some of them, except for Prague, like Prague was very user friendly, and you were able to find out how to actually pay for the transportation. But the others, I pretty much got on that public transportation for the free. Like I couldn't find out how to pay for nada. So I was just riding. Nobody stopped me. I was just getting to my destinations with the quickness, and it was fine. But also with Paris, I was able to take advantage of those scooters, like the Lime, the what they have, the Uber. I don't know all the names of it, but that was definitely convenient to use. I was just like over there scooting by the Eiffel Tower. All I wanted, like I didn't even need to be in the midst of all the like the traffic and whatnot. I just wanted to take a picture and just be on to the next whatever I wanted to look at. And so that was convenient too. Let's see. I will say that another way that I was able to save on this trip is the fact that I did have only a carry-on bag that was stuffed with everything that I needed to wear and use within 3 weeks, okay? I did not have enough space to buy anything, any additional clothes or any additional, like, nada. What I had in my suitcase was gonna have to last me up until I left. So that was my clothes, that was my you know, my shower stuff, my hair stuff, my you know, I had my little toiletries and whatnot, just all of that importante stuff, you know. So, but I do collect magnets. So I made sure I purchased one within every city that I went to. So I have my collection. I'll show you guys. But other than that, some things that I found were really helpful to have on this trip with me. My eye mask, because definitely on staying in a hostel, not living in there, but staying in a hostel, like some people turn on the lights when they come in late, you know, not really being considerate about everybody else that's sleeping in there. So this helped out. And also just on the train ride, like if you just want to be knocked out, you don't want to look outside, like just to get some rest, this helped. I brought these bad boys because, for one, you cannot trust all them toilet seats, okay? And sometimes you just don't have hand sanitizer, so just use this. But and also just, you know, just in case, you want to make sure you get everything. You don't want to be carrying nothing around, okay? My little toiletry bag was definitely helpful. This is surprisingly the first time I actually even bought one. I bought it specifically for this trip. So I'm surprised that I never used it before, because it was so helpful just to stay organized. You know, I had my toothbrush and my shampoo and my what else do I have over here? Q-tips, you know what I'm saying? My perfume, my soap. Yeah, so little toiletry bag, and then your earplugs, because you just never know who's gonna be snoring, who's gonna be coming in, like I said, late at night, talking, drunk or whatever, or when you're on the train, or you know, just in case I don't make it home tonight. Anyways, these little bags I really only used this one, and this is what fit in my carry-on comfortably. But it comes with like a full like package deal, like, you know what I'm saying. But I, you know, was able to put my sweaters and my jeans and, you know, my underwear, my bras, and some workout clothes up in here, and then like my socks and stuff. Like it was definitely helped me to stay organized, and also just helped me to remember how I packed everything so that everything could fit in there each time I had to open it and close it. But yeah, so that's pretty much how I went to Europe backpacking on a mofo budget, okay? It was a lot of fun. I'm so thankful for the experience. Like the fact that I was able to fly out there off of my company's budget was amazing. I had to take advantage of that. Like, why not? And this was my third time traveling solo, so it was a little more nerve-wracking, just because, for one, as a female traveler, I was told that in Europe it's a lot more sex trafficking going on out there, so I was a little nervous, but I felt prepared for anything. Like, you know what I'm saying, like, bring it on. I had my little, if you saw the video of some safety precautions or whatever, that some things that I felt were helpful to me, even though I really didn't have to use it like that, but that little scarf, like, that was helpful. I didn't have to carry a purse all the time. I just had all my stuff like stuffed in that little pocket in my scarf. Never had to use the mace, but yeah, it was just very eye-opening. I met so many different people with different personalities. I feel like I met, like, one of the things that I've realized is that everybody is the same all around this world. Like, everybody is dealing with some similar situations. You know, you have the positive people who just, you know, just want to enjoy life, and, you know, they're not so consumed within like social media. Like, man, like so many people that I met over there were so, as far as them being from Europe, so intrigued, especially in Prague. They were so intrigued and questioned so many things about, like, so what about the US, and, you know, what's the best, which country, which state has the best economy. And, you know, it was so interesting to see what was interesting to them. I had some people who were interested in Trump, and like, what were my views about him. And then I met the most pessimistic person who just, you know, I remember asking her after her sharing like so many negative things about what she just experienced and what she's been going through, and her thoughts about people in general and about the United States of America. And I asked her, well, what makes you happy? And she truthfully said, well, I'm a very pessimistic person, so there's not too many things that make me happy right now. I'm just like, wow, okay, there's no helping you, boo-boo. But it was just crazy. Like, it was fun. I know I probably won't do backpacking again, but I'm definitely down for another solo trip. But I would love to just stay put in one specific area, maybe like I'm just to one country and, you know, just go to those main cities within it. But going across one continent, you know what I'm saying, that mess was a little overwhelming at a certain point. Like, I think after the second or third country, I was kind of like, okay, I'm ready to just be still. Like, I just want to be chill right now. Like, I didn't want to be a tourist no more, which is why, like, once I got to Paris, I was just like, look, let me just take a picture. I don't need to be up in there. I don't need to go in all these castles. Like, I'm Gucci bandana on that. But yeah, I so highly recommend that if you have not gone on a solo trip, or if you a solo trip, or if you have not stepped outside of the States, do it. If you have not stepped outside of your own country, your own continent, do it, because it'll help you just to be more open-minded. Hopefully you'll be open-minded when you go out there, and just be open to, you know, just taking in everybody else's culture, and open to, you know, the different foods and the different activities, and just, you know, step outside of your comfort zone, boo-boo, and, you know, do as they do. Okay. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to, you know, grasp the language, you know, that was spoken in most of these countries, but, you know, I knew the basics to get me around. And there's also Google Translate. That was supposed to be a wink. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. I really hope that these little tips and tricks were helpful, and if anything, motivates you to do it, to go out there and live life, hunty. But yeah, I just wanted to share that experience, and I will talk to you later.